Hey everyone, Sean here, back with another tutorial video, and in today's tutorial we're going to be building our very own NFT digital art shop. And we'll be building this with Thirdweb's SDK along with some of the other Thirdweb's features like embedded wallets and checkout links. And really what we're going to be able to accomplish is building a NFT digital art workshop where a user can sign in with an email or social login, purchase our digital artwork pieces with a credit card, and be able to view the artwork pieces that they own all within our web application. So instead of a user having to connect a wallet like a MetaMask wallet or pay with cryptocurrency, we can abstract away those Web3 concepts and allow them to sign in with an email and purchase with credit card. So an overview of what we're going to be covering in this video, we're first going to take a look at a demo app of what we're going to be building. We'll then deploy our contract for our NFTs. We'll mint some of the NFTs that we're going to be selling as artwork. Then we'll jump onto our code editor to create our digital art workshop, where we'll be able to set up our email logins and checkout with credit card. So with all of that being said, let's jump on the computer here. Let's take a look at the demo of what we're going to be building. So right here, this is my digital art shop. So digital art workshop. I have all my digital art pieces here. We have a sign in button in the top right, which is going to allow me to sign in with our embedded wallets here. But these are my different art pieces here. So we can show the different pricing here. We have all the art pieces I have in this shop are priced at the same price here. We have a max limit of 2 for all of them here, and we have supply count as well. So you can see this first one here, I already bought one, so there's 9 out of 10 available. You can see these ones have 10 out of 10, and we have buy now buttons. Now we can't buy until we have actually signed in with an account. So let's sign in right here. Let's type in our email. We'll get sent our OTP code here, so let's verify this. Once that is verified, you can see now we have the shop button and the my collection button, and we can now click on the buy now button. So if I go to my collection real quick, we can look at the artworks that I have. So I have these two right over here. I can come back to shop. Let's purchase this second one here. And when I hit the buy now button, this is actually going to be a checkout link. And a checkout link is going to bring us to our checkout page here, where a user can then check out and purchase this NFT using a credit card. Now, this is an external link, so it does bring your user out of your application, and then we can redirect them back to your application after the fact. Now, this video is being made before we did add the checkout with credit card component into the ThirdWeb SDK. So right now, this is a way that you can redirect your users to purchase an NFT using credit card, and we can just redirect them back to your application. With that being said, though, that means a user has to sign in again over here to access the same wallet account. And once they access that account, they'll be able to check out the NFT and purchase it using a credit card. So right here, they're brought to complete their purchase. We just need to fill out our card information. So we'll use our dummy card here. And once that is filled in, we can pay. And what this will do is purchase our NFT with a credit card and then redirect us back to our site. And once we're redirected back here, we're signed in. We can check out my collection here. And you can see we now have that new piece of artwork or NFT that we just purchased. If we come back to shop here, we can see the supply updates. It is now 9 out of 10 available. And again, these are our different art pieces, and this is what we're going to be building today. So to start off, to start building this here, we're going to first deploy our NFT smart contract and deploy and mint some of our NFTs that we're going to be selling. So I'm going to come to ThirdWeb's website here. We're going to connect our wallet, and then we're going to head on over to the contracts tab. I'm going to select deploy a new contract here. And depending on the type of artwork that you want to sell, you can select an edition drop or an NFT drop. An NFT drop will be an ERC 721 token, which means these could be used for like unique one-of-one art pieces, versus an edition drop is an ERC 1155 token. So with this, you could have one art piece, but you could have multiple owners of that art piece. Versus an NFT drop and an ERC 721, you're only going to have one owner for each of those art pieces. So for this one, we're going to use the edition drop here. And I'm going to hit deploy now. And I'm going to select deploy now in the top right, and we're going to name this. We'll just name this artwork. We'll name the token art, and you can fill out your contract parameters here, add an image, description, put in the wallet address you want for royalties and primary sales, along with trusted forwarders if you're going to be using things like gasless transactions, which we are not going to be using here. So we're going to leave this blank. We're going to come all the way down to the bottom to the network or chain section. And through this dropdown, you can select any EVM compatible network or chain that you want to deploy your contract to. Now, you can search mainnets, testnets. In this tutorial and example, I'm going to use Mumbai here, and I'm going to select deploy now. Once that pops up here, we'll confirm that transaction to deploy our contract. And then I can assign the signature request here to add it to our ThirdWeb dashboard. And once that's been deployed, we'll be brought to our contract dashboard right over here. And the next thing we're going to do is on the left-hand side here, we're going to go into the NFTs tab. And this is where we'll be able to mint our NFTs that we want to sell. Now you can single upload your art pieces, and as you create more art pieces, you can just add them to your NFT contract here. Or you can batch upload, which is what I'm going to do now, just so we can upload 10 NFTs quickly here. So I have the metadata of my 10 NFTs I want to mint, and you can see here my image, name, description, and we got properties and traits here. So we can batch mint all of these. I'm going to hit next, reveal upon mint, and we're going to upload those 10 NFTs. Going to confirm that transaction here to upload those NFTs. And once those NFTs are minted, you can see we have all 10 of our NFTs here. Now, the next thing we need to do is create a claim condition for each of these NFTs. Now, using an ERC 1155 like we are here with an addition drop, we have to set a claim condition for each one of these NFTs. Now, if you're using an ERC 721, you set a claim condition on the whole collection. So the whole collection is going to have the same claim condition and pricing for each one of those items. Whereas an ERC 1155, again, we can do for each individual one. So we're going to do an example one for here. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to show you how to do it on one, and you can replicate it for the rest of your art pieces. So I'm going to select the first NFT here, and we're going to head over to the claim conditions tab. And under here, we're going to hit add phase, and we're going to add a public phase. Now here we can name the public phase, choose the start time of when it's going to start and when it's going to be available for sale. We can put how many NFTs will be part of this drop. So let's just say 10 here. We can put in the cost of how much it's going to cost. So we can put 0.001 Matic. You can make this equivalent to whatever you want to sell your art piece for. And then how many NFTs can be claimed per wallet. This is where you can set the limit. So maybe we want to say only 2 can be claimed per wallet. And once you have that set up for your art piece, you can just hit save phase. We'll then hit confirm. And there you go. It's now saved. So if we head back here, again, you can do that same thing for all of the art pieces that you want in your shop. You can change the quantity and the pricing, all depending on the art piece itself. Now I have a similar contract that I deployed earlier, and you can see it's the same art pieces. This is the same one that we're using in our demo. You can see we have a supply already here. This is just one that I'm going to be using, so I don't need to go through and set all the claim conditions for each one. But again, you can set those claim conditions. You have to just go into each token to set them. So we're not going to create the payment or checkout links just yet. We're going to start building out our project first. So I'm going to open up my terminal here. And in my terminal, I'm going to run npx thirdweb create app. And this is going to allow us to create our Web3 project with ThirdWeb. I'm going to name this. I'll name this digital shop. We're going to use Next.js, and we're going to use TypeScript for this project. And once that is done, we'll change into our digital shop here. And digital shop. And I'll open this up in my code editor. And the first thing we're going to do here is go into our pages folder and head on over to the _app.tsx file. And what we need to do here is set up our ThirdwebProvider. So the first thing in ThirdwebProvider is our client ID, and we can find our client ID, which is going to be stored in a .env file. So in our file directory here, you should see a .env.example, and this is where we're going to provide our project with our client ID or our ThirdWeb API key. And you can just head on back to thirdweb.com. We're going to go to the settings tab here. Just open that up in a new tab. And over here, you can create yourself an API key. I'm going to use one I already have, but if you want to learn more about API keys and how to create them, we'll add a link down in the description below, along with a tutorial video that you can follow. So I'm going to copy that link there, go back to my code editor, and in that .env file, I'm going to paste in my client ID. I'm also going to rename this file here to get rid of the the .example, and just name it .env, and head back to the _app.tsx file. Below that, we have active chain, and this is going to be set to this active chain variable up here. By default, it's set to Ethereum. I'm going to change this to Mumbai, and you'll change this to whatever network or chain you deployed your smart contracts to. And that sets up the ThirdwebProvider, but we're going to set up one more thing, which is allowing our users to use embedded wallets, which allows a user to generate a wallet using a social login or email. And in our ThirdwebProvider here, all we need to do is add supported wallets and give it an array of the wallets we want to support. And in this case, all we want to do is support embedded wallets. So we're just going to add embedded wallet in there, and that's all we need to do. So coming over to our files here, and in our pages folder, we'll come over to the index.tsx page. And this is the templated project you get when you create a project with ThirdWeb. We'll open up our terminal and run yarn dev here to open this up. And you can see here, this is the template here. If we hit connect wallet, you can see here, we only have the social logins and the email login here. So let's head back to our code editor and let's start building out our project. Now, the first thing we want to do, if we take a look back at our demo one, is we'll build this top navigation bar here with a sign in button. So let's sign out. So sign in button and maybe just a title for our app. So back in our code editor, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this components. And in my components folder, I'm going to create a new file and call that navbar.tsx. And for our navbar component, let's create that real quick. So we have a navbar component here. We have a div, and we're going to create our navbar here. So within our navbar, we're going to just have a H3 header here, and this will just say our digital art shop. And next to that digital art shop, we're going to create another div. This is going to have our navigation links and our connect wallet button in it. So I'm just going to add a connect wallet button here really quick. And what I'm going to do next is add some styling here for our application. So I'm going to come over to my files here and styles under my home module.css. I am just going to add some styling here that I've created for my navigation, for some buttons, and for some of the card or the NFT card details here. A link to the GitHub repo will be down in the description below. So if you want to follow along with the same styling, you can do that. This is just to make sure our app looks nice as we go through on this tutorial. But coming back to the navbar.tsx file, I'm going to give this first div here a class name of, and let's import our styles here. And this is actually from home. We're going to do styles.nav container. And then for our heading here, we have a class name of styles.nav title. For this div here, that's going to contain our navigation links and connect wallet button. We're just going to give it a styling to have a flex and a flex direction of row. And next, we're going to come back into the _app.tsx. And above our components here, let's add our navbar. We'll save that and then come back to our project here. You can see we have digital art shop and we have our connect wallet button here. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to customize this connect wallet button just a bit. So coming back into our navbar.tsx under connect wallet here, we can change the button title. So we can just have this say something like sign in. Save that, come back to our app. You can see it now says sign in over here. Next, let's customize this here. So let's get rid of connect, get rid of this logo here. We can come back here. So we can go to our modal title. We'll call this sign in as well. And then we can get the modal title icon URL. And if we just leave it as a empty string like this, it'll actually just get rid of the logo here. So if we come back here and we hit sign in, you can see it gets rid of the logo, and we change this here from connect to sign in. Next, we want to add in our links here, but we only want the links to appear if someone is connected or signed in. We don't want them to be able to access their collection if they don't have a collection to actually view. So up here, we'll create a variable called address, and we're going to use the use address hook from ThirdWeb. This is going to get us the connected wallet's wallet address and also return us undefined if there is no wallet connected. So right above our connect wallet here, we're going to check if we have an address, and if we do have an address, then we can display our links here. And in here, I'm just going to create a div with styling of display flex and a flex direction of row with some margin. And for this, we're going to have two links. So first link here is going to be our shop link, which just takes us to our homepage where all of our artwork will be. And then the second link, we're going to link it to an account page, which will then link to the specific page of the address of the connected wallet that we have. And that one we'll call my collection. So we save that, we'll head back over. You can see we have digital art shop. We don't have our links showing here. If I were to hit sign in, put in my email here and hit continue, we'll put in our passcode here. Right here, you can see we have shop and my collection. And now I'm not going to click on it because we didn't set up the my collection page yet, but we know that those will appear and show up now. So coming back to our code editor, that's going to do it for our navigation bar. Now let's go on and work on our homepage where we can display our art pieces. So coming over to the under our pages folder in index.tsx, we're going to open this up, and I'm going to remove everything within the div here that has the style of container. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Delete that. We're going to get rid of images here. We're also going to get rid of connect wallet because that's in our nav bar. And right here in our container, I'm going to create just a H2 heading here, and we're going to call this artwork for sale. And now we need to display our artwork. So if we take a look at our app, there we go. We have artwork for sale. And next thing we need to do is display each one of our art pieces. So if we take a look at our demo one here, we have those art pieces here, which are just cards with the image, the price. We have the max limit per wallet, the supply left, and a buy now button. So let's create a component for those cards. So coming here, I'm going to create a new component in the components folder. I'm going to create a new file here, and we're going to call this one NFT card.tsx. And in this NFT card.tsx file, we're going to create a type of NFT card prop first. And this is going to take in the information of the NFT that we need to display. So we're going to get our NFT, which is going to be of type NFT, and we can import that from ThirdWeb. Then we're going to create our NFT card component here and make sure we export that at the end as well. All right, and for our component here, we're going to, again, display the NFT and all the sell information for that NFT. So over here, we're going to get our NFT first. So we first need to get our contract, and we're going to use the use contract hook here from ThirdWeb, which will get our contract address. So I'm actually going to create a new file for this. I'm going to open up my file directory here. I'm going to create a new folder here called constants. And a new file in that called constants.ts. And for now, I'm going to create a variable here called NFT contract address and paste in my NFT contract address that we deployed earlier. So coming back to NFT card, I can now reference NFT contract address here, and we now have an instance of our contract, which we can now grab some information from. And the information that we're going to grab is going to be the active claim condition. We can also get the is loading status here. to make sure that we have all of that data loaded before we display it. And then we're going to use the use active claim condition hook from ThirdWeb. And what this use active claim condition hook is going to take is we need to specify the contract we're searching the claim conditions for, and then the token ID that we need the claim condition for. Because this is an ERC 1155, we have to specify the specific token ID because each token ID has their own claim condition. If you're doing an ERC 721, you just need to give it the contract. So we can get the token ID by getting the NFT metadata.id, and that will give us the token ID of the NFT. So now with all of that information, we can come back to our card here. We're going to give this outside div here styling. Let's import our styles here. We're going to give it a class name here of styles.nft card. Within our NFT card, the first thing we're going to display is a image of our NFT. So we can use a component called the media renderer from ThirdWeb, where we just need to give it the source of our image, which is going to be nft.metadata.image. That will give us the image of the NFT. And then below that, we're going to display the information of the NFT. Now, we only want to display the information once we have the active claim condition. So we'll just say if the active claim condition is still loading here, we're going to show just some loading text. So we'll just say loading. And if the loading is complete, we'll then display some of the information. And the information that we're going to display is that we're going to get from our active claim condition, like the price, the supply, and all of that. So for this div here, I'm just going to add some padding here really quick. Then the first thing we're going to display is going to be the price of the NFT. And we can get the price here. We'll just say price here. And to get the price, we're going to get our active claim condition. Then we're going to get the currency metadata, and we'll get the display value. And what that will return is a string value of the price of the NFT. So we don't need to convert any of the wave values or convert any of the values to make it equal to display to our user. We can just use the display value right over there. And then we can also get the display symbol. So we get active claim condition dot currency metadata, and then we can get the symbol, and that will just give us the symbol of whatever currency the NFT is listed in. Then we'll just give some styling here to make it a little bit bigger and bold. Then the next thing we want to display is the max claimable supply per wallet and the supply left of the NFT. So I'm going to create another div here. Give that div a display of flex and row. And the first thing we're going to do is get the max limit. So max limit is going to be equal to, we can get that from the active claim condition, and then the max claimable per wallet. And then below that, we're going to get the supply. And here we're going to get two things. We need to get the active claim condition and then the available supply. This is going to be how much of the NFT is left. We'll put out of, and then we can get the active claim condition dot max claimable supply, and that was the max claimable supply that we had set. So we'll say how much there is and how much is left. And then for each one of these, we're just going to give them some styling here of NFT card detail, which just adds a border and everything around them. And that does it right now for our NFT card. So we'll be able to display that information. So we're going to come back to our index.tsx file here, and we're going to get our NFTs here to display. So we're going to do something similar like we did in the NFT card. We'll get our contract first using the use contract hook from ThirdWeb. Give it our NFT contract address. This time we're going to get the data of our NFTs, and we get all the NFT metadata using the use NFTs hook, and we're going to just give it our contract, and that's going to give us back an array of all the NFTs within this contract here. We're going to map through each one of those NFTs and display a card. So in here, we're going to make sure that we have our NFTs data, and we're going to also make sure that the NFT's length is greater than 0, because if there's no artwork to display, we're going to just say there is no artwork. So in here, we'll just get no artwork for sale. But in here, what we're going to do is get our NFTs. We're going to map through those NFTs, and for each NFT, we will get returned an NFT. And for each NFT, we are going to create an NFT card. And the NFT card, we're going to supply it with our NFT. We'll also give our card here a key, which will be the NFT metadata.id. So we'll just pass it the token ID for the key. And with that, we'll come back to our app here, and there we go. You can see we now have all of our NFTs. So let's actually put them into a nice grid here really quick. So right here, we're going to create a div and give this div a class name here of styles.grid. And let's move our mapping here of our NFT into that grid. There we go. So you can see here we have our artwork now, and we have that information of max supply, the price, the supply limit, and they're all displayed nicely in their cards. Now the next thing we need to do is add a buy now button. So that buy now button is going to link to a credit card checkout that a user can use. So we're going to have to create those links for each one of those NFTs. So coming back to the contract that we deployed, we're going to come over to the left-hand navigation and go to the payment section. First thing we're going to need to do is enable our payments here. So let's enable it. Once that's enabled, we're going to need to create checkout links. And again, because this is an ERC 1155 NFT, each NFT has a claim condition. So we're going to have to create a link for each one of the NFTs. So we're going to hit create new checkout link here. I'm going to name this. So I'll name this Art01, which will be our token ID 1. Over here, we have to select a client ID. Now, you want to make sure that this client ID is the same client ID that you are using within your application. Because embedded wallets are associated to a client ID, if you want a user to be able to access the same wallet, you're going to have to make sure you use the same client ID. So you do want to make sure that you're using the same one here. Just go through your dropdown, make sure both your application and your checkout link are using the same. We'll hit next. Over here, you add the description, then you can add the image of the NFT that you want this one for. So this is art piece number 1. So we'll add the image right over here. We'll hit next. Now for this specific setup that we have, we don't want to allow external wallets, and we don't want to allow paying with ETH. We just want someone to be able to sign in with their email and pay with a credit card. We'll hit next. Now we can set the max quantity per purchase. We'll put 2. And right here, immediately after the redirect here, we'll redirect them back into our application. And then what you'll do here is you'll put in the URL of your application, where it's hosted. So whatever your domain name you have your application in. So we'll just put it here, our local host, 3000. Then we'll hit create. And there you go. You have your checkout link for your first art piece. Now, you're going to do this for each one of your art pieces. I already have this set up in our other one here. So if I go to payments here, I have all 10 of the checkout links right over here. So next thing we're going to do is coming back to our code editor in the constants folder here, we're going to create an array of all those checkout links. So right over here, I have my NFT checkout links, and I'm going to give it an array of all the checkout links here. And what we're going to be able to do is match the token ID to the index of the link here. So token ID 0 should check out to this link here, token ID 1 to index number 1 of our array right over here. So that's how we're going to match our links to the NFT that they need a link to. And then once we have that, we'll come back into our NFT card.tsx. And down here at the bottom below all of our information here, let's create a link. And that link here, we'll just create a button within there called buy now. And then in our link here, we're going to link this out here. So we'll do href. And this is going to link out to our NFT checkout link. And we're going to select the link based on the NFT's token ID. So we're going to have to parse in here our NFT token ID, which is going to be nft.metadata.id. And that is going to give us the index of the link, which is where our link should link out to. Now, we also don't want to make this button pressable. We want to disable it if there is no address connected or no wallet. So we're going to create an address variable up here like we did before using the use address hook. And then down here in our button, we're just going to say this is going to be disabled if there is no address. So now coming back to our app here, we take a look. We now have the Buy Now button. If I click on that Buy Now button, it should now link us to purchase that NFT. You can see here the artwork number 1, 9 remaining. The image and stuff is all matching. Come back to our app. Let's click on artwork here. Yep, you can see matching artwork here. We got this. We got 10 remaining here, and we know that our links are now working. So now when someone purchases their NFT, we want to show them their collection that they can view. So coming back to our code editor here, we're going to open up our files. In our pages, we're going to create a new folder. We're going to new folder here called account. And in that account, we're going to create a new file, and within brackets, we're going to say wallet address and then .tsx. And in here, we're going to create our account page. So we'll just say account here. So in here, I'm just going to create the same layout that our homepage is with the main and div tag with the container styling. Make sure we import our styling from our style sheet here. And in here, I'm going to create an H2 heading called account. And then I'm going to create an H3 heading here called my collectibles. And in here, we're going to display our collectibles or the art pieces that we own. So one, we're going to need our wallet address of our connected account. So we're going to do address using the use address hook. Next, we're going to get our contract again using the use contract hook from ThirdWeb, and we're going to give it our NFT contract address. Make sure we import those two things here. Then we're going to get our data, and we're going to get our owned NFTs. And this is going to use our use owned NFTs hook, and we're going to supply it our contract address and the wallet address we're checking the owned NFTs for. And then here we're going to create a div with a styling of grid. We're going to, just like how we displayed our NFT artworks for sale, we're going to get our owned NFTs, make sure that it's greater than 0. If not, we'll display you have no artwork available, or you just have no artwork. Then we're going to get our own NFTs, map through each one. And in this case, we're just going to display the image of each one of those NFTs by getting the NFT metadata and then the image. So now coming back to our app here, if I go to my collection, you can see it will load up the 3 art pieces that we have purchased. Go back to our shop here, and this is where we can now purchase our NFTs. So this is our artwork shop. Let's test this out. So we're going to buy this 3rd piece artwork here. We'll hit buy now. You can see here, this is the same art piece. We have 10 remaining. We'll sign in with the same email here. Once we're signed in, we should be able to purchase with a credit card. So we'll put in our dummy card info here. And then we'll hit pay now. And then from there, we should be redirected back into our application. And there you go, we will return back into our page here. So if we go to my collection, right over here, you should see that we now have a 4th NFT, or the NFT that we just purchased. And there you go, we built a simple digital artwork shop where you can sell your NFT art pieces utilizing ThirdWeb's SDK. We made an easy user experience where a user can sign in with their email, pay for credit card for your digital art pieces, all utilizing ThirdWeb, ThirdWeb's embedded wallets, and checkout links. If you folks did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more tutorial videos just like this. If you have any questions or you need any support, we'll drop a link down in the description to our support team where you can open up a support ticket. They'll be happy to help you out and answer any of your questions. But again, I hope you folks enjoyed this video, found some value in it, and until next time, see ya.